Hello everyone, I hope you're all having a fabulous day. Today I have my entire handbag collection. This video has been highly requested, so thank you guys so much for that. What I'm going to be doing is I decided to actually break up the collection into fashion houses. I feel it makes it a little bit easier, and at the end of each fashion house I will include mod shots of the bags that I was talking about, so that way you guys have a better visual. And for reference, I am 5'5". I hope that you find this video helpful. If you enjoy it, make sure and give it a thumbs up. And without further ado, let's get started, shall we? Louis Vuitton, my first love. These bags are in no particular order. Alright, the first one is the Neverfull MM in the Dame Azur print. I've had this bag for what feels like eons, and it has been put through the ringer. I have used it to death. I ended up using it the last time as a travel bag, and I actually ended up getting color transfer on it not too long ago. I was somewhat devastated, not really, only because of how much use I've gotten out of it, and that's just something to always note with Dame Azur. It's a little bit more prone to color transfer if you end up using darker colored clothing. But as you can see on the leather here, it has a little bit of a golden color, but in the middle it has it's starting to get a little bit darker. The handles where I grab them are maybe like a little bit more brown, and I don't treat any of my handbags. I let the oils in my hands do all the work, yeah, I just love this bag. I even thought about possibly replacing the leather, but I just feel, nah, I'm just gonna keep it that way. I want my handbag to tell a story. And the inside really does need a little TLC because, as I've said before, I have not been careful with this bag whatsoever. So you can see it's pretty, it's pretty dirty. I might end up going for an organizer for this, only to try to salvage the interior as much as possible. But the Neverfull MM in the Dame Azur print. Okay, the next one is the Pochette Accessoire new model in the monogram canvas. This is actually a repurchase for me this year. I used to have this bag a while back. I ended up selling it. I decided to kind of go away from the mini bags. I felt I had too many in my collection, but I still raved about it. And even though this is technically a small leather good, a lot of people end up using it as a handbag because it does have a generous strap drop. Like I said, this is the new model. The older model had a little bit of a shorter strap here, and it didn't have as wide of a base down there. But this is perfect to use as a mini bag. It's not something that you can only carry one or two items. You can still fit quite a bit of essentials in here, and it has a fantastic price point. So especially if you're looking to start into Louis Vuitton, and if you want to go for a smaller handbag, I definitely recommend going for the Pochette Accessoire. So there we go. And this is actually the one that I'm currently using. And in here, I don't have everything loaded up because it's kind of scattered all over my room. But you can see there's a little bit of a better visual on it. So the Pochette Accessoire, new model. I also ended up picking it up in the Dame Ben. I actually had all three canvas prints, and I ended up using them all. I sold all three of them. So I decided to, again, buy the monogram and the Dame Ben, and this time you can quote me on it. I am keeping them in my collection. They are not going anywhere because I am just that big of a fan on them. And like I said before, quote me on it. You can hold me to it. They're going to stay. The main reason why I wanted to add the Dame Ben one is because I really liked these as a travel bag because I don't have to worry about leather. I don't have to worry about water stains or anything like that. And I can always end up adding a longer chain to it if I wanted to use it crossbody. But I'm a big fan of Dame Ben print. The Dame Ben print, it's my favorite canvas, especially because you have that gorgeous red interior that makes my heart sing every single time I open up the bag. The next one is the Pochette Métis in the monogram canvas. This is another bag that has been my Louis Vuitton All-Star. It was a real game changer for me, to be honest, because in the past I was never really one to appreciate a crossbody bag. It wasn't necessarily for me, but I decided to go for the Pochette Métis. I really like the fact that it does have quite a bit of organization going on in the interior. It lays flat up against your body, but the fact that it comes with a detachable, adjustable crossbody strap just kind of blew my mind, as ridiculous as it sounds, because now I understand why being hands-free is so amazing. It's so liberating, you know? And a lot of people have raved about using this as a travel bag. Personally, I've never used it as a travel bag, but I can definitely see that because, like I said before, it comes with the adjustable strap, and the strap is canvas, so you don't have to worry about water stains or anything like that. It has very minimal vachetta, and it lays flat up against your body. So if you are traveling, if you're going to navigate through crowds, then this bag makes it a lot easier. And again, you don't have to go super, super compact. So the Pochette Matisse and the monogram canvas. On to this beauty. This is the Alma BB in the Damier Ebene canvas. And as you can see, it has feet like the regular Almas. And I often get asked if I can actually fit quite a bit of items in here because of the shape that it has. It's a little bit more stiff. And yes, I can. Usually end up sticking to really compact items. I go for either a card holder or the Chanel O-Zip coin purse, the mini pochette to use it as a catch-all or as a cosmetics case. So the items are not very bulky, because the bulkier they are, then it takes away from how much you can actually fit in here. But yes, you can actually fit quite a bit in there. And it does come with a removable strap. The strap, it's a little bit tricky to be able to use crossbody. Sometimes it ends up not being the most comfortable on my chest because it ends up digging in a little bit. But it doesn't have an adjustable strap, which I think is one of the cons, because I felt that if it was adjustable, it would be a lot easier for people to be able to, you know, to change it up depending upon their height or on their body frame. So that is one of the things that I've often said is a con when it comes to this strap. But a lot of people end up buying extra straps so that way they can end up having it lay a little bit lower on them if they wanted to use it as a crossbody bag. But there we go, the Alma BB in the Damier Ebene canvas. And I just wanted to show really quickly, I actually added the luggage tag. You will actually see quite a bit of luggage tags throughout my Louis Vuitton collection. That is my bag charm of choice, but it normally comes with a key bell. I ended up taking that off, but another thing about this bag is that it is very secure because it does have a lock. So if you wanted to, if you're going out, if you're going through a crowded area and you wanted to feel a little bit more secure about your items inside of your handbag, you can always end up locking it. So mine is really for decorative purposes. So I just thought I would share that very quickly. All right, the next one is also considered a small leather good, but a lot of people end up using it as a handbag, and that is the Pochette Voyage in the monogram Eclipse. Now this is very similar to a Toiletry 26. It's actually the exact same size, it just has a different name because this is in, this actually belongs in the men's collection, but I cannot deny the monogram Eclipse. I am a huge fan, and I'm one of those people. I am hopeful that someone somewhere will listen to us and make a Speedy or a Neverfull out of this canvas print, because I think it would look amazing, right? I know a lot of us would be lining up to get that bag, but I kind of get my fix with the Pochette Voyage. But there we go. And this one also features there are a few different things that it doesn't have as far as the Toiletry 26, because it does have this little loop here, or not this little loop, this grommet, and it is in the gunmetal hardware, and the interior has a very smooth zipper. It actually has 6 credit card slots, which makes it even easier to use as a clutch. So technically a toiletry, toiletry slash accessory, but I end up using it as a clutch. And on that note, here is the Toiletry 26 in the Damier Azur Tahitian collection. I absolutely love this. I got quite a bit of use out of it during spring and summer, especially because of the combination of the pink up against the Damier Azur. I like that the pink is not too bright. It doesn't take away from the Azur. It complements it very nicely. And the greatest thing about this piece, in my opinion, is the fact that it has that gorgeous pink interior. So I am all about that. So the Toiletry Pouch 26 in the Damier Azur Tahitian collection. All right, moving on to my other Neverfull. This is in the size as well, and this is in the Damier Ebene. This is my least used Neverfull, only because I end up using the Damier Azur and the monogram a lot more than this one. And the main reason is because I've said it in other videos, the treated canvas that it has, or the treated leather that it has, sometimes ends up digging into my shoulder if I end up wearing it in the spring and in the summer. I know some people have said that it softens over time and they feel very comfortable with it, but for me, I just feel that every time I end up using it, I end up seeing the marks on my on my shoulders. So I much rather end up using it in the wintertime when I have something in between my skin and the handbag, you know, like a cardigan or sweater or what have you. But it is still a beautiful bag, and I've had it for quite some time, and you can see that I haven't used it as much because the handles pretty much still stay in the upright position compared to the other ones that are a little bit flatter. But because I started using it a lot more this year, I have quite a bit more wrinkles going on, which is very normal when it comes to the color treated Damier Ebene leather. It just has those wrinkles, and the more and more that I use it, the more wrinkles I'll have throughout. And all three of my Neverfulls are the old style, so they have the cursive interior on that pouch there. And none of them come with the pouches, like I said, because they are the original model. All right, so here I have my monogram Neverfull in the MM size as well. And as you can see, look at those handles. They kind of end up just flopping over a little bit more. I have started to get quite a bit more of a golden patina on the Vachetta. Not as much as the Azur, but it's starting to get there. It's starting to get a little bit darker in the middle there. But this is just such an easy tote for me to carry. I love structured bags, but I also love totes. And even though I have quite a bit of mini handbags in my collection as of now, I tend to prefer large handbags. I like to be able to throw absolutely everything and the kitchen sink inside of my handbag. I said it in a previous Minks Monday. I'm kind of like a turtle. If I can carry my entire home, I probably would. You know, so the Neverfull is a fantastic bag, and I personally prefer the MM just because of for my body frame. The PM I felt was a little too short on the strap drop, so that way when I ended up putting it on my arm, it was a little too uncomfortable, like if I was wearing a coat or a cardigan. And the GM I felt was a little too big, but I really like the GM when it's cinched in. I love that look. But the MM are the ones that I decided to go for just because my body frame, and you still carry quite a bit in there. All right, on to my Speedies. This is the classic Speedy 30 in the Damier Azur. This bag I actually purchased when we went to Paris for the first time, so it has quite a bit of sentimental value. And the Azur has really started to change color. It has a little bit of a yellow tint to it. It's not as bright as it once was, and that's really because of the contact that I've had with the sunlight. Since I end up using this the most in the spring and the summer, that's just bound to happen. So yeah, it's a little bit more eggshell than white. At least that's what I think. And then again, you can see the luggage tag, and I added the luggage tag that has an M and the E. The E stands for Edward, who is my dog, and I call this my family Speedy. Because since I got this with Robert, who is my husband, when we went to Paris, it was only fitting that I got a luggage tag that has Edward on there, because that's what my family consists of, you know? It's just the three of us. So this is my family Speedy. The classic 30 in the Damier Azur. All right, I also have the same classic 30 in the Damier Ebene, and this is the one that I ended up picking up in London. So that my trifecta is done, and you guys will see the other one in just a second. But there we go. And the canvas on this one is a little bit more squishy. It seems like it's a little bit, it's not as stiff, if you will, as the Azur. So I know that the canvas has kind of changed throughout the years. So there we go. And here is the third Speedy in the classic 30. And this is the Mon Mono, and the colors that I chose were fuchsia and blanc, and the blanc is very much like a whiteout white. And what I really like about the Mon Monogram is that you can really customize the interior lining, so you don't have to go for the beige. And of course, seeing as how I am a pink girl, I decided to go for the fuchsia interior. So it's really, really bright. And I don't really use this bag too much anymore, only because I end up using a different one that I'm going to show you guys in just a second, but I still love it nonetheless. So the Mon Mono Classic 30. All right, the next one is the Speedy 25 Bandolier in the monogram canvas. This is the bag. This is the Speedy that I end up using the most between the Mon Mono and this one, because this bag is has just changed my mind, and I'm not ashamed to say that. This is another bag that I just didn't get. I didn't understand it. It wasn't for me. I stayed away from it for as long as I can remember, and I love this bag. Like I said, this is the Bandolier. Robert got this for me for Valentine's Day, so I was really excited. And I get a lot of questions as to what I think about sizes between Bandolier and Classics. For me, me, even though I do love the bandolier bag, I much prefer the classic 30 as a hand carry bag because I feel that it's a little bit more proportionate. I prefer the 25 as a crossbody bag because again, I feel that it's not too overwhelming. When I ended up trying out the 30 or the 35, I felt it was a little too boxy. It kind of reminded me of the Keepalls. But this one, even though it's small, it still fits quite a bit because of the silhouette that the Speedy has. So for crossbody, I highly recommend the 25. For classic, I personally recommend the 30, but it's all a matter of personal preference. Now for the last piece in my Louis Vuitton handbag collection, it is this cutie. This is the Palm Springs mini backpack. Man, this bag, this bag was elusive. I tried to buy it 3 different times. It wasn't happening. And then Robert ended up getting it for me for my birthday. So he surprised me. And thus far, I am obsessed with this bag. I don't know if that will change. It can always change, but as of right now, I'm obsessed. But the Palm Springs mini backpack with the monogram canvas and the black leather. There we go. All right, so now on to the mod shots. With Chanel, I'm definitely not adventurous. I mostly stick to one color, and that's black. I ended up spreading my wings with 2 different handbags in 2 different colors, but other than that, it's just down to good old black. All right, starting with the first one, that is the Jumbo Classic Double Flap in the black caviar leather with the gold hardware. This bag was my holy grail bag. I never thought in a million years I would ever own it. And the funny thing is that it's not the bag that I end up using the most out of my Chanel collection. I do love it. I think it's beautiful and it does fit quite a bit, but it can get somewhat heavy because of the double flap and the chains. Sometimes I feel that they end up digging a little bit into my shoulder, but I still enjoy this bag. Just not as much as another one, and I will show you guys in just a second. So the Jumbo Classic Double Flap in the black caviar leather with the gold hardware. All right. The next one is the mini rectangular flap in the black lambskin with the light gold hardware. This bag, I absolutely love it. It actually fits a lot more than I ever thought. You know, this is one of those bags, kind of like what I talked about with Louis Vuitton, that it really ended up changing my mindset as to, not my mindset, it ended up changing my opinion of mini handbags because I always thought that I could only fit so much in there, but I can actually get away with fitting quite a few items in here. And I am able to wear it crossbody. It didn't used to be able to because of my chest, but I like the fact that it's a little bit more versatile for me. So you can end up dressing it up or dressing it down, and I prefer the lambskin leather. Even though I'm a big fan of caviar, and you will see that quite a bit throughout my collection, I just really like the look of lambskin and the feel that it has, and it's not as delicate as people make it out to be. So there you go, the mini rectangular flap. All right, the next one is the Deauville, the large size 30 centimeter in the gray raffia with the black handles. Love this bag, and this is a very casual tote. This is probably one of the most casual bags that I have in my Chanel collection, but I actually ended up adding a purse organizer to it because It is a little, you know, it ends up losing its shape a little more than I would like. I knew that going into it, but I still wanted to give it a little bit more oomph, you know what I mean? So I ended up going for a purse organizer, and I like the fact that I'm able to kind of set it on its own. And it is a very large tote, and you can definitely end up seeing all your items inside. And I've used it a few times for you know, running errands, and it can get a little overwhelming just because of the size that it has. But like I've said before, sometimes when it comes to bigger bags, I end up finding more and more things to fit in here, and by the end of the day I'm like, I can't do this anymore, my shoulder is killing me, but it's my own fault. So the Chanel Deauville in the size 30. There we go. And I really like this size because it does have the dual straps, so you can end up using this as you can put it, you know, like this, like decorative. You can actually use this on your shoulder, or you can hold on to this way, or you can use it on the crook of your arm. It's a lot more versatile than some of the other styles. All right, on to my most used Chanel bag, and that is the classic flap in the medium large with the black caviar leather and the silver hardware. So this is definitely my most used Chanel handbag. This is actually my top used handbag in my entire collection. And kind of like what I mentioned before, this was my holy grail, and I thought that I ended up using it a lot more. But compared between the two, this one is just a lot heavier than this one is. This one is a little bit more comfortable to use for longer periods of time. And even though the double flap does take away from how much you can end up fitting in here, it still fits a good amount of items, you know what I mean? You have to go somewhat more compact, but I still find that this bag is it's just easy to wear. You can use it on one strap, you can end up using it as a double strap, but what I really like is the fact that I can dress it up and dress it down. Seeing as how I am a very casual dresser, the fact that I can use this with my shorts, a t-shirt, and Vans. You guys know that's what I usually end up wearing. Or if I wanted to wear a skirt or something a little bit more dressed up, either way that I go, it's just a great bag to be able to cater to any type of lifestyle. At least that's what I feel. And it transitions very easily from day to night as well. So my most used handbag in my entire collection, the Chanel medium large classic flap in the black caviar leather with the silver hardware. Okay, on to my love-hate relationship with this bag. It won't be a surprise. I get a lot of people that get very upset when I say I have a love-hate relationship with it, but I mean, I've told you guys, I'm going to keep it honest. This is the Chanel Le Boy bag in the new medium size with the aged calfskin and the ruthenium hardware with the double stitching. So I love this bag. I love the edginess that it has. It's very casual. I feel like it's not too edgy. And it still fits quite a bit of items inside because of the compartment that it has. Sorry, it is currently stuffed. But the reason why I have a love-hate relationship with it is because even though it is gorgeous, the chain on this thing drives me up the wall. It's constantly moving on its own. Sometimes the leather part here ends up getting stuck on the rings, and it just, it's not, I feel like I'm not the most pleasant when I end up carrying this handbag, you know what I mean? And I feel it's probably because I pay too much attention to the strap. I'm sure if I just ignored it, I'd be fine, but it's my own fault, you know what I mean? I can't blame anybody else. It's my own thing. But I get asked, will I get rid of it? At this moment in time, no. I still think it's a beautiful bag, and I really like how lightweight it is. It's not too heavy. It's just that chain that just, sometimes I'm just like, I can't, like, this is the type of bag that I can't carry for a week. I will seriously go crazy. So I do like 1 to 2 day intervals, and that's good enough for me. But I still rotate it quite a bit. So the Chanel Le Boy bag in the new medium size and the black calfskin with the ruthenium hardware. Onto another rectangular mini. This is in the black caviar leather with the light gold hardware. So it is very similar to the lambskin one that I showed you guys a few moments ago. The biggest difference besides the leather is the fact that this one has stitching along the opening and this one doesn't. So there you can see them side by side. But I really wanted to add a little bit of a variety. I know it's, some of you might be thinking, how is there a variety? They're the same color and they have the same hardware. Just, you know, the different types of leather. But I wanted something that I can end up using as a travel bag as well as the one that I'm about to show you guys in just a second. And with the lambskin one, like I said before, it's not as delicate as people make it out to be as far as scratches go. But if I was to put this in my carry-on, I run the risk that I can end up smashing down the lambskin, or the quilting won't be as puffy. Whereas this one, It's not as puffy as some of my other caviar pieces, kind of like my medium large. It seems to be a little bit shinier just because of the texture that they added to it. But this one was great because when we went to Hawaii, the few times that it did rain, I didn't have to worry about getting any water stains on the lambskin. It was able to just bead off, or I was able to just kind of pat it dry, and there was no damage to it. So that made me really happy. It's a very worry-free type of bag, and the fact that I'm able to use it crossbody as well makes me very happy to be able to incorporate it a little bit more into my lifestyle. So the rectangular mini in the black caviar leather with the light gold hardware. All right, now the next two pieces are technically small leather goods, but the majority of people end up using them as handbags, and those are wallet on chains. Now, I've said this before, this is probably one of the best purchases that I ever made from the fashion house. I use this thing to death. Between the mini that I started to use as a travel bag because it's very small, and like I said before, you can really I can really transition from day to night with it as well. This is my main travel bag because I can use it crossbody. I can hide the chain that it comes with and use it as a little clutch, and it just fits the essentials. So usually if I'm traveling, I don't want to have a very big bag. Like I said before, a lot of people end up going for the Pochette Métis from Louis Vuitton because it does have a little bit more pockets, and it's still not a ginormous bag. But this is my bag of choice because it is a little bit smaller. It fits everything that I need, and I just absolutely love the wallet on chain. And you can really tell I have used this thing to death. Look at that. There's wrinkles from me overstuffing it. It's my own fault. But it is what it is, you know what I mean? And I wouldn't change it for anything in the world. It has gone everywhere with me, so I'm a big fan. And the fact that you do have the credit card slots already built into the lining makes it even easier, so that way you don't have to carry a small wallet or a card holder or anything like that. You just have to worry about either your cash, your driver's license, your credit card, or anything else that you need, and then you're good to go. Not too much more. So this is the part one adventurous. This is in the red caviar leather with the silver hardware walk. Sorry, this is the black caviar with the gold hardware. But this one I haven't used as much as my black one. The black one's the one that I mostly end up gravitating towards. As you can see, it's still pretty stiff on the sides, but this is the classic Chanel red. This is the OOV or the 00V, and there you go. And it just does have that beautiful silver hardware throughout the red caviar leather that I really liked, because I feel it's such a nice contrast between the two. You have the classic black quilted with the gold, and then the red with the silver that I feel make it a really nice pairing as well. So the wallet on chain in the red caviar leather with the silver, and the black with the gold hardware. Onto another Deauville. This is also in the large size, and this is for the 2018 Cruise collection, and it is in the pink. But the pink, it's kind of like a like an earthy pink. Some people think it looks a little bit more like salmon, but I don't think it has that much of an orange tint to it. Kind of reminds me of the Louis Vuitton Rose Ballerine. But there we go. And the material on this, it's actually a blended material of raffia and fabric. So it's not as soft as the gray one that I have. And the lettering that it has the metallic threads going on throughout it, and it has a little bit of that lighter pink. And then on the interior, I actually ended up getting a purse organizer for it because I was such a fan of it in the gray one. I knew that I wanted to get one for this one as well. This is also a Samorga organizer, and I do believe this is in Dusty Rose, if I'm not mistaken. If I can remember, if I can put it on the description box below, I will. But there we go. So I feel it's a really nice match too. It's not like it's not the exact same color, but I like the fact that it matches the outside of the Chanel written on here. So there we go. And again, I really like this size because it's a little bit easier to be able to use either on the crook of your arm, on your shoulder, or if you just wanted to hand carry it. So the large Deauville 30 centimeter in the pink for the 2018 Cruise collection. And the last one for my Chanel collection is the GST, or the Grand Shopping Tote, and this is in the black caviar leather with the gold hardware. I've had this bag for 4 years now, I believe, and it's still going strong. I love this tote, and as you've heard me mention throughout the video, I end up preferring totes because they're so easy to use and you can see everything at a glance. And even though I'm a big fan of the Neverfull and the Deauvilles, I really like the the shape and structure that this has. It hasn't really lost its shape. I know some people experience it starting to kind of sag a little bit more here. It does have a little bit, not too much for as long as I've had it and for as much as I've used it. But I like the fact that you do have the 2 compartments. You have the zippered compartment here. I don't really use this back pocket for anything, but I don't know. I like it. Some people aren't a fan of the double CCs because they feel it looks a little too tacky, but that's actually the main feature that I prefer of it, and it's very comfortable to use as well. So the GST, or the Grand Shopping Tote, in the black caviar leather with the gold hardware. All right, now for those mod shots. These next beauties, I put them in the miscellaneous category because I only have one from the fashion house or from the brand. The first one is the Givenchy Antigona Small in the black pebbled leather with the silver hardware. I absolutely love this bag. The structure that it has, the simplicity, the clean lines. It also comes with a removable shoulder strap. Personally, I don't end up using the shoulder strap. I use it only in need of an emergency. For the most part, I end up preferring it as a decorative piece. But I really love this bag, and I ended up going for the pebbled leather versus the shiny. I think both of them are great, but I felt that the pebbled is just a little bit more casual, and I am such a fan of the quality of Givenchy that I am looking forward to adding the red one to my collection. I've been thinking about it. I saw that there's a khaki one. A lot of you guys sent me messages on Instagram saying that you guys saw the khaki one as well, so thank you for that. But I think between the two, I might end up going for the red or maybe the oxblood. I don't know. I've told you guys, I'm 50 shades of crazy and I can never make up my mind. But I always go with my safe color black. But I will most definitely want to add another Givenchy Antigona Small to my collection because I really like the size as well. So here it is in the black pebbled leather with the silver hardware. All right, the next one is from Dior, and this is the Dior Cruise Wallet. This is in the gunmetal metallic leather with the light gold hardware. So this is technically a small leather good, kind of like the Chanel wallet on chain. And this one opens up quite generously, as you can see, in comparison to the wallet on chain, but because it's a little bit more narrow at the bottom and it ends up opening up this much, I feel that you can't fit as much as you would want to like you would in the wallet on chain. I know some of you might be thinking, well, you can't fit a lot in the wallet on chain in itself, but between the two, I still think that that one fits a lot more than this one. Although this one has a crazy amount of credit card slots. You have credit card slots here. You have them also on this back side. A nice little open compartment, a slip pocket here, a zippered compartment here, and another slip pocket here. And one of the greatest features about this cruise wallet is the fact that it comes with a removable chain, which I really like. So if you wanted to use it as a little clutch, if you wanted to use it as a wallet or as a crossbody bag or a shoulder bag, you can do that. So it ends up just kind of attaching to these little hooks here. And check out this chain. Now, what I love about Dior is that they don't call it hardware, they call it jewelry, which I think is amazing. But look at that. I love the way that the light gold hardware looks. It glistens, and it's a very comfortable chain as well. It doesn't dig into your shoulder, but it still doesn't feel like it's flimsy or anything like that. So the Christian Dior Cruise Wallet in the gunmetal metallic leather with the light gold hardware. All right, I also have a Judith Lieber clutch. I love this. Now, you guys know I am all about sparkles and Swarovski crystals, and this is just filled with crystals. I have used this on various New Year's Eve parties, and I just love the way that it looks. It has the Aurora Borealis going on throughout it, and it is in the gold hardware. And I'll be honest, this thing doesn't fit a whole lot. It doesn't. Here it actually comes with a mirror, comes with a little coin pouch. Let me take these out. And look at this chain. And look how cute that is. Come on, that is adorable. But I end up just hiding the chain and I end up holding it in my hand. But it doesn't fit my phone. It barely fits like a small lipstick. But I still think it's super cute. And I haven't had any of the crystals fall off either. So Judith Lieber makes some amazing, amazing handbags or clutches, if you will. But there we go. And I love the Aurora Borealis. Just glistens, especially with all the lights going on. Yes, I am all about that. And then my last handbag, I haven't used it as much because it hasn't been raining. I've used it twice, but I'm still excited about being able to test it out and see what the buzz is about this bag. And I'm talking about the Longchamp Le Pliage with the long strap. And this is in the color khaki. I know a lot of you guys are a big fan of the Longchamp, and I've always been fascinated by the material and how, it seems like it's almost indestructible. And I really do like that, and the fact that it does have the color treated, or the treated leather, so you don't have to worry about anything like that as well. But I ended up going for the larger one just because I felt that I can end up carrying a lot more in here. So I'm excited to see how it holds up in the rain, and I'm telling you, the minute it starts to rain, I think I'm gonna go for this bag. I'm not gonna go for Damien Ben. I'm not gonna go for Caviar. I really want to experience how fantastic Longchamp is, because I'm telling you, a lot of you guys have been sending me messages saying, when are you gonna use it? When are you gonna use it? But I know it doesn't have to rain for me to be able to enjoy it, but I want to see, like I really want to test it out type of thing, you know what I mean? So the Longchamp Le Pliage tote, the large tote with a shoulder in the color khaki. All right, you guys, so that does it for my entire handbag collection. I hope that by being able to break it up into categories and then incorporate the mod shots, it was a little bit more helpful. But I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure and give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already and you would like to, please subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking on the red button down below and hitting that bell so you're notified when I upload videos, which is anywhere from 2 to 3 times a week. I have done a lot of comparison videos on the handbags that I showed you. I've done in-depth reviews. If there is a comparison that you would like me to do, or if there is maybe an updated review that you want me to do on a certain piece, let me know in the comment section down below. I know that this coming year I will be doing a lot of wear and tear videos, because a lot of these handbags I've had for a while now, and I always like to update you guys on how they're wearing, something to look out for, just in case you're looking to add some of these to your collection. So again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for the recommendation to do this video, and I will see you guys on Monday. And as always, make it a fabulous day or not. The choice is yours. Have a great day, you guys.